came to see you with another assignment and see the question. The first question is given like that: complete the given half equations and mention whether each involves oxidation or reduction. Now you have to recall the memory of the oxidation as well as reduction. Oxidation, losing electrons; reduction, gaining of electrons. Okay, here we go. First one, you see bromide ion has loose electrons here. How it comes? Look at the board now. See? Bromine ion, it turns to bromine diatomic molecule now. What will happen? Now you have to balance this one. Write 2 in front of this. To balance this one, write the number of electrons that you want to write. How many? To balance this one, see, you have to write 2 electrons. Right? So this is an example of oxidation. Losing electrons, we call it oxidation. Right. Here we go. Next one. Aluminium 3 plus ion. What will happen? We have aluminium. So, aluminium ion. Aluminium makes 3 plus ion. You know that. Aluminium makes 3 plus ion, and to make an atom, what will happen? It gains electrons. What is the number? To cancel the charge, we have to write 3 here. So this is the answer. And what sort of? This is an example of reduction. Gaining electrons, it's a reduction. Right. Then we'll move on to the next one. Magnesium 2 plus ion. Let's see, magnesium always forms 2 plus ion. Right? Magnesium forms 2 plus ion, then only it turns to magnesium atom. Right? Let me write the electrons here. What do you think? Is it a gaining or a losing? It's gaining electrons. I didn't have space here, that's why I wrote it here. Right? No problem at all. So to cancel the charge, I have to write 2 here. This is the answer, and this is an example of what? Oxidation or reduction? Reduction. This is an example for reduction. Right? Then your next question, state whether each of the following compounds is ionic or covalent. Right? I would like to recall your memory of ionic bonds and covalent bond. Right? Let me draw this one. CH3, CH3, Br. Okay, let's draw. I will draw the displayed formula to show this. But without drawing the displayed formula, you know how to identify whether this is an ionic or covalent. You see, all the atoms mentioned here are non-metals. Therefore, this is an example for covalent bond. Right? Okay. Then we'll move on to the next one. Hydrogen peroxide. What can you say? Hydrogen is a non-metal. Hydrogen non-metal. What can you tell about oxygen? Oxygen 2 It's a non-metal. What can you tell about the bonding? Ionic covalent? Covalent. Right? Next one. Iron 2 chloride. You know iron has many oxidation numbers. Here iron has 2 oxidation numbers. So let's write. Let's discuss this. Iron is a metal. Chlorine is a non-metal. It's a gas. What is the formation? A metal and a non-metal. The formation is an ionic bonding. Right? Then we'll move to the next one. Sodium fluoride. So tell me, sodium, as you know, sodium is a very famous metal. In the first group, very reactive with water, with cold water. Then what about fluoride? It's a non-metal. Fluorine, we say fluoride ion, sodium ion. Metal, non-metal forms ionic bond. Right. Hydrazine, HCN. What can you tell about this one? Hydrogen, non-metal. In the first group, carbon, it's a non-metal too. Nitrogen, non-metal, it's a gas. What can you tell about the compound? Covalent or ionic? It's exactly covalent. Right? We have come to the third question. Right? Observe the given group. See whether you can see the group well. I know at once you will understand what is this group. Where can you find this group in the periodic table? Where can you find? Don't say they are this place, that place. You know how to write the answer. The 7th group next to the what? The noble gas group. This is, 7th group. It's not nice. I think I would like to erase it. I'll erase and I will rewrite because I see it's not. From number 5, 6, 7 group. Right? Number 2, what is the special name given to this? Halogens. Halogens. Write 2 physical properties of the given group. There are many physical properties. Let's write 2. What can you tell about when you are coming top to bottom? Top to bottom of the group, what do you recognize? Decreases the reactivity. Decreases the reactivity. Or else instead of writing reactivity, you can write decrease the or decreasing the what? Electronegativity. Instead of this word, you can write electronegativity, no problem at all. Electronegativity. So let's write another one. It would like to gain electrons. Always tries to gain electron or what? Give. Gain or give. Because now sodium fluoride, example, sodium fluoride, what will happen? Sodium has +1 ion like this. Fluoride it has -1 charge. So this one would like to donate for fluoride. So, or you can say scarcity of 1 electron in the relevant group. You can see from top to bottom they have the scarcity of 1 electron, or we can say deficiency, the deficiency of 1 electron, right? What can you tell about element F? What can you tell about element F? We are what you call the majority. We use chlorine to represent the group, because when we are taking very few examples to show you the reactions between fluorine and all, right? Because it's more reactive, or because it has, can say it is the most reactive element in the periodic table, or else you can say it has the highest electronegativity either, right? Let's move to the next one. Number 4. This is the reaction between zinc or iron with steam. You can use, they have mentioned here metal. Instead of the metal you can use zinc. Oh, I'm sorry. You can use zinc, or else okay, fine. Instead of the metal you can use zinc. Can you see this color well? Okay, we'll move on to red. You can use zinc, or they have given you here zinc or iron with steam. Whenever we are talking about steam, you should understand steam means gaseous H2O, right? You can see this diagram in your textbook. I have seen this questions many times in your past papers. So therefore children, pay attention. This is a good experimental question, right? Right. You see the bubbles are there, air bubbles are here, and there is an empty space, but they said hydrogen collects if there is a reaction, right? That's what. So let's move to the next part. Study the diagram and write the chemical reaction both with zinc and iron with steam. Okay, let's finish that part. I'll take my first part as with zinc. Zinc, let's write the physical property. Solid zinc with H2O. It's liquid, right? Liquid. Sorry, it's gas. Sorry, steam, right? No, you can't say liquid, it's gas. Then what will happen? It will produce zinc oxide plus releases hydrogen gas. Right. Then let's balance this one. 2 moles of hydrogen, then number of oxygen is 2, then in front of this zinc we will write 2 here. Equation is balanced. So this is the first question. Second one, reaction with iron. Let's write with iron. Let me take solid iron, mention the physical states, that's important. Then steam, So here children, they draw a star mark and remember this is to give the product, there will be a complex form here. Right. See whether you can understand this one. I think this way is not. Right. Okay, look at the board. Well, we didn't balance this one, right? Iron, see the number of atoms should be represent 3, and oxygen. Oxygen, we need 4, right? Hydrogen, the same number. Okay, look at the board now. This is of course understood. This is the bit complex ion forms. They are actually because of that only we will get this as a product, right? We will call this tri-iron tetraoxide. Start to read this from this place. Tri-iron tetraoxide. So that is the answer for the first part of the question. Mention the physical state of each of the reactants and the products. Balance the reactions. We did that. And remember, they will cut marks if you did not mark the physical states. If they give 2 marks, 1 mark will be deducted because without the physical states actually no use, right? In some cases in some places they say no need to mention the physical states. That's fine, right? Okay, then we'll move on to the next one. Number 5. The given below are acid base reactions. For each of the equations state which substance is the acid and which is the base. Right. We will start from the first one. What is the first ion? You can say, I know you can recall your memory about ions, cations and anions. What do you call this ion? Carbonate ion. This is hydronium aqueous. So bicarbonate, and you will get liquid water. We want to find from this side which is the acid and which is the base. So you don't have any idea about these things, but you know one. What is it? Carbonate. What do you know about carbonate? It is a base. So if this is a base, automatically what will happen to this one? It reacts as an acid. Right? The next one, magnesium oxide, sulfuric and magnesium sulfate and water. So out of these we want to find out which is the acid and which is the base. So magnesium oxide, no idea, right? How do you come to know? You are going to start from this place. H2SO4 is a strong acid. So here this is an acid, ultimately this is the base, right? The other one, nitric acid, ammonia, ammonium and iron and nitrate ion. Which is the acid? Yes, you know there are 3 strong acids: nitric, sulfuric and hydrochloric. Some places phosphoric acid also there, but it's not that strong. So at once you can say nitric is an acid. So ammonia is a base. The next part, sulfuric and water. So what do you know about sulfuric? Yes, we discussed sulfuric is a strong acid. Ultimately this one goes to a base. right? Oh, we have come to the end. So I hope you understood what we have discussed. Please keep in touch with these things, because your exams will be they are very, it will be comes to you without knowing. The days are very what do you call, getting closer to you day by day. So if you are staying at home and if you are giving up your studies and all, then exam will be so hard. I know you are clever and you can understand, you can recall your memory very well. Please by heart and please study. I will see you soon in another video. Right? Thank you and take care.